I need you to get this concept of the function. That's why I'm explaining it again. So just imagine that when you sit, like I've told you before, when you sit in front of the computer system, the screen that you are looking at is just like your physical body. These things that you are looking at on the screen are being projected onto the screen. They are not living on the screen. They have where they are staying. They are being projected on the screen. Same thing as we human beings. This our physical body that we are looking at is being projected. Our real self is somewhere communicating with this body. So the interface between you and this world is your physical body and the screen. Now, if I run this script, if I run this up one, this select star from employees, this is an employee table that is existing in the database. These employee tables have 107 employees. 107 employees are existing in this table. So we are assuming that these employees is the house or the company or the state in which these employees are living. So row 1, row 2, and these are all the characteristics of the employees. This is the employee ID, the name, the email, the phone number, the hire date, job description, salary, commission percentage, manager ID, department. Okay. I will want to manipulate my output. Right now, I just said, go to the database, look for a table called employee, pull out everything for me. That is what I've done. Now, I am now telling you, if you now want to begin to manipulate your output in the way you want it, which probably will be different from the way I want to bring out my own output, there are things that we can use. I can specifically say select first name, last name. That is projection capability of the select query. If I now introduce the where clause, that is the selection capability of the select query. Now we are introducing something again called functions. These functions, they are programs. They've been written specifically for a particular purpose, like this CONCAT. CONCAT, what does it do? It joins two columns or strings together. That is its work. It won't do anything, any other thing than that. So if I want to join two columns together, I know the function to call. Then we have substring. Substring is the name of a function. And what does it do? It tells me to reduce it. I can use it to bring out a particular length of a string. In this first name, I have Nina. Maybe in my query, I don't want to see everything. I want to see only the first three characters, which is Ni, N-E-E. I just want to see the first three characters. In all of them, maybe like Lex is just three characters. The rest are having more than three characters. But I just want that column to give me the first three characters. Then I have to call somebody to do that job for me. And the name of that person is substring, which is SUBSTR. And when I call it, I'm going to supply it with the parameter that it requires for it to function. Once I supply that parameter to it, it will run. It will execute because it is a program expecting certain parameters. Then length. I am saying I want to know the length of each first name. So Stephen, what is the number? What is the length of Stephen? The character that make up Stephen. What is the length? Instead of me to start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, I will just call a function to do that for me. And that function is called length. So I'm just going to supply the parameter to it and it will tell me. Then I want to locate the position of a particular character in a string. Who am I going to call to do that? The function name is INSTR. So that is what all these functions, that is what they do. Then I still have the LPAD. LPAD, that is the name of the function. So I'm saying select LPAD. Then I'll supply, look at, the moment you type the function, it's going to show you the syntax. This LPAD is expecting 3 arguments. expression 1 as the first argument, then n as in for number, then expression 2 as the second argument. So what is he saying? He's saying I'm going to supply this hello world to it too. Are you with me? Yes. I'm going to supply this hello world to it. And I will say hello world is how many? We counted hello world give us how many characters? 10 characters. Okay. So I'm going to increase it to 15 characters. But I'm going to use star to extend it. That is the padding. I'm going to pad it up to 15 characters using star. So LPAD, then I supply hello world as a string. Hello world, right? Then, comma, is expecting 3 arguments. So I'm now saying that increase this thing to 15 character. That is the n, that n inside that syntax, comma, using this symbol. And I will now complete it by saying from dual. So I'm saying now if you count hello world, it is 10 characters. I want to extend it to 15. So I'm going to extend it to 15 characters by adding additional this star pad. So how many will it add? It will add 5. So if I run this, look at what it has done. So if you count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus this, that is 15. Now, there is a place where you will have to use it, where you will have to call this function to do this job for you. Now, there is another one, which is the RPAD. So I'll say select RPAD. So it's just the opposite of the other one. And then I'll supply the string literal. Hello world. Comma again. I'll say 15. Comma. Then I'll close the bracket. I'll say from dual. I'll terminate. When you run this one, it's just going to move this 5 to this side. Can you see? Can you see what it has done? So this is RPAD. It is padding this hello world up to 15 characters with this star. While LPAD is padding the hello world up to 15 characters on the left-hand side. Are you with me? Yes. Okay. Now we also have another function called replace. So I'll say select. Then I'll call the function replace. This is the function I'm calling it replace. Then I'll put in brackets. I'll supply that same string literal again. Hello world. And I will say, now this is the literal I'm supplying. And I'm going to say locate H. Anywhere you see H, replace it with something else. So I'll put this H, capital letter. I'm saying replace it with J. Then I'll say from dual. I'll terminate. What I'm simply saying is that look at this character string. Are you with me? Hello world. Look for H in it and replace it with J. So this will now be Jello world. That's what it will give me. Can you see? So I'm going to use it now. I'm going to use them now in a query for you to see. I will come here and I will say select first name, first underscore name, right? Comma, last underscore name, comma. Then I will call the function CONCAT. It's asking me for 2 arguments. I will supply first name, comma, last name. Then I'll close the parenthesis. From now, we are doing our normal query from our own database, from employees, right? I'll terminate. When I run that, first name, see, can you see that? So I have first name, last name, and then I have, is using that, the whole of that expression as the column name. So CONCAT joins this column and this column together. Now I'm just going to add substring. I'm just going to add substring. So I'm going to say, I'm going to call that function str, and then I will supply the first. So in this one now, I'm going to supply first name, first underscore name. And then I will say start counting from, I told you, I will say start counting from the beginning, the first character, and count for me 5 characters. Are you with me? So I will put 1. Start counting from the first character, comma, and count 5 characters for me. Then I will close it. When I run this, can you see that? So the substring will take it will come to select star from employees. So what this script will do, now this is our database. This one will come, it will select first name, it will select last name. Then this concat, it will take the first name and the last name, it will join them together. Then it will come to this substring. It will take the first column, which is the first name column. This first row, it will take Stephen. It will supply Stephen to this substring. I can just be using them as the alias. Like this one now, I can, if I run this now, this column will change to conc. See? So I'm just using them as the alias. So this is concatenation. This is substring. See, this thing that I'm putting here is the alias. Or as let me use the as keyword so that it will not confuse you. As so these are the alias. So when I run that, it's giving me this. Now I am going to, then I use the order by clause. We've done training on the order by clause. So I'm saying arrange the output based on this column. You can use alias in order by clause based on this column. So it's arranging it. You can see that it started with letter A. And then if you scroll down, you see A, B, C like that. Are you with me? Okay. So, all right. Now, so far, that is all I can show you. We'll use them as we go on. But I need you to understand the concept of the function. The functions are programs that are existing for a specific purpose, that perform certain actions. And when you need them, you call them and use them. Once you call them, they have their syntax. You have to supply the parameters according to their syntax, and then they will function. I've explained to you that a function is a written program that performs certain actions. You write a program and you give it a name. So anytime you need that program to execute for you, you simply call that name. That is what it does. So once I call that, once I type the length, I'm calling it. So select length. I'm calling it. So length is responding to me and saying, yes, what do you want? And then I will follow the syntax of length. I am saying I'm supplying certain parameters to length. And what are those parameters? I'm giving him that column name, last underscore name from employees. So what I'm simply saying, tell me the value of each of the names. What are the character lengths? When I run it, can you see? So let me bring out the last name as a column, comma. So I run it. Look at Abel. How many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4. What is it telling me? 4. Austin, 6. So I want to know how many characters are in each of the last names. So I will simply call the length as a function. Length, find out this for me and give me the answer. It's as simple as that. So you just need to know what do they do, what does each of these functions. So in your program, you are now going to write your own functions yourself. You write your own functions yourself. That is what makes it beautiful. So you are learning all these programming languages. That's what you are basically doing. You'll be writing functions and giving the functions name, and then later calling those functions to execute tasks for you.